My name is Grace Young, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make a crisscross hot pad. I've been sewing and quilting for over 5 years. To start this demonstration, you will need one 10-inch block of Insulbrite and two 10-inch pieces of fabric. You're going to start by taking one of your pieces of fabric and putting it right side up. Right side up means that the piece that has the brighter colors is going to be up. You have to line it up with your Insulbrite. It's a very important step because you need to make sure it's lined up now so you don't have to go back and redo it. Then you're going to flip it and do the same on the other side with the fabric right side up. After you've done so, you are going to pin it together to make sure that it will not slip while sewing. Next, we're going to sew an X motion to set this fabric. After you've done so, you're going to end up with a piece of fabric like this. Now, we're going to take our other 4 blocks of 10-inch squares that are already folded, and we're going to put the raw edge, which is the piece of fabric that is not folded and it has a higher chance of fraying out. We're going to put the raw edge out. We need to make sure it is lined up here too, because if it is not lined up here also, you'll have to go back and fix it. And after you have gotten all of your pieces lined up, we're going to pin to make sure it does not slip while sewing. I tend to use a lot of pins because I would rather do it right the first time. And after you've gotten it all pinned, we're going to sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance around the outside edge. That means that we're going to have a 1/2 inch between the edge of our fabric and our needle. We're going to start by placing it in and sewing. It is very important that you keep your 1/2 inch seam allowance because if you don't, you might not catch some of the raw edges and then your hot pad will fray out. Another thing is when you get to the corner, you want to stop, lift your presser foot, and rotate 90 degrees and continue sewing. Nancy Hart, a senior member of the Miami County Quilters Guild, taught me this pattern. I'm very thankful that she did because since then, I've been able to teach over 100 youth how to make crisscross hot pads. A crisscross hot pad makes a wonderful gift. You can gift it for Christmas, you can gift it for birthdays, or even just for 4th of July. It is a very simple pattern for beginners since it only involves straight line sewing. You still need to make sure that you're all the way lined up, even when you get close to the end. We are now on our last straightaway, and we're almost done. Still maintaining that 1/2 inch seam allowance and catching all of the frayed edges, we're going to continue sewing till we get to the end. We are almost there. Now that we've reached the end, we're going to backstitch. Backstitching means that you are securing what you just sewed so it will not ravel out. You lift your needle, take your fabric, and cut the thread. Now we're going to take the pins out and turn it inside out. Turning it inside out while pushing the corners out to make our square. It is very important that you get the corners pushed out, so then you will have a square crisscross hot pad. After you've gotten all the corners pushed out, it will look like this. So in conclusion, we started with 6 10-inch pieces of fabric and one 10-inch piece of the Invisabrite. You made a layer cake with it, which was when we put our piece of fabric, the Invisabrite, and then the piece of fabric. We sewed an X across to secure it. Then we put our 4 pieces of fabric on top with raw edges out, and it looked kind of like a box. Then we sewed with our 1/2 inch seam allowance around the edge. And after we did that, we cut the fabric line, and then we turned it inside out to make this crisscross hot pad you see here. Thank you very much.